Keep that applause going for William Weyerman.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for sticking around. I'm just going to jump right into this and give you guys my impression of a Mexican personal trainer. It's been a while since I've had to be Mexican. I assure you I am a quarter taco, so this isn't racist. But yeah, my accent's a little rusty, so... So, Mr. John... no, that's not Mexican. You know what? Forget the accent. So, Mr. Johnson, I see here you've been studying proper diet on our charts. It also says you've been working out a couple times a week on your own. That's great. I think if you were to come in a couple extra times a week and work with one of our personal trainers here at the gym, we could really help you achieve your fitness goal! Goals! Seriously though, guys, fitness is a great thing. However, I'm more of a sit and watch kind of guy. You can take that however you want. In this case, I'm mostly talking about watching the UFC though. My favorite fighter is probably George St. Pierre. Reason being, he once had the most wins in his division. He was voted Fighter of the Year from both MMA Magazine and Black Belt Junkie Magazine. And he's also openly gay, which is pretty cool for a UFC fighter. Unfortunately, though, he is French-Canadian. I don't quite remember what Wikipedia said about him, but I think his favorite move was either the armbar or the reach around. George St. Pierre is a great name. I'm actually pretty content with my own name, but I've never understood parents who name their children things like Hope or Faith or like Mercedes. I think they've always just been like trying to compensate for things they wish they had themselves. And God forbid I don't want kids, but if I do ever have a kid, I think I'll name him something more practical, like free cocaine. You know, maybe I'll name him after my dad or something, who knows. But, so this paraplegic guy walks into a bar, right? And he's like, holy shit, I can walk. And then this blind guy at the bar sees this, and he's like, holy shit, I can see. And a deaf guy sitting across from him at the bar hears this, and he's like, holy shit, I can hear. And then Jesus walks over and he's like, all right, guys, this is the last time I'm getting that drunk. Clearly, I'm very religious. Sacrilegious, I don't know. So, guys, the other day I was at work, and I was talking to one of my coworkers about a documentary I'd seen on Area 51 the night before. I'd stumbled home from the bar, and, you know, you only watch that shit when you're pretty stoned. And I was talking to my coworker, and his manager came over, and he's like, hey, why aren't you guys working? And I was like, well, I was just telling Austin here about this documentary I saw on Area 51. You know, it's pretty interesting. And his manager is this redneck guy in his early 30s who's pretty cool, but I don't think he's that smart. Reason being, he was like, Area 51, what the hell is that? I was like, how have you never heard of Area 51? You know, it's that place with all the really tall fences and the tight security and all the aliens. And he looks at me and he's like, that's the Mexican border. He clearly voted for Trump. Yeah, that was a thing. You know, it made me think, hey, I don't want to be that dumb. So I started going back to school very recently, and then shortly after dropped out. Reason being, I found out I was never going to pass my math class. I'm terrible at math. And the thing is, I was doing my homework this whole course, but I failed my class because of a typo. I was taking an online class for ACC where it's like a remedial class, and you log on to this website called mymathlab.com. Unfortunately, though, the whole semester I was going to mymethlab.com. And that would explain why I had to run from the cops every time I tried to buy school supplies for my friend's teacher. Wink. And, you know, I dropped out of school. I'm not saying I won't go back, but next time, if I'm taking a remedial math class and I see like a beaker and Bunsen burners on the supplies, I should be a little bit more suspicious. Typos can be a pretty big deal, guys. I was at work the other day, and I was having a conversation with my assistant. He sits next to me, and I was telling him about this article I read on the Large Hadron Collider, which, if you don't know what that is, it's this huge nerdy thing in Geneva, Switzerland, like underground. And he took an interest to it as well, just based off this article I told him about, and he kept asking me all these questions about it. And I was like, dude, do I look like a physicist to you? Like, you work the same job I do. Like, Google it. And he Googled it, and he learned the importance of typos that day, too, because he typed in the Large Hadron Collider into Google. Needless to say, there was just dicks everywhere, just all over the screen. And I think it gave him a virus because my boss actually came in the next day to update his computer, and dicks just popped up everywhere again, just immediately, just dicks. And my boss is just sitting there looking at me, like, what the fuck is this, dude? And I'm like, hey man, I don't know, like, there's nothing wrong with gay people, but I'm not into dick. And like, if I was gonna watch porn at work, I would go in the bathroom and use my cell phone on my lunch break like a goddamn normal person. Yeah, I was fired like 2 hours later. And that's actually sadly a true story. It's a compulsory thing, don't judge me, guys. What do you guys call it when the Terminator masturbates? An Arnold Palmer! Good night.